Hello and welcome back to Soon 73 Tai Chi. Today we're moving into lesson number 30, Wave Hands Like Clouds. Beautifully named, beautiful movement. The name helps us to remember in our form to just relax and be as gentle as a cloud drifting through the sky. I'm sure you've already done your warm-ups. So let's go ahead and jump into our form, beginning at the beginning and moving through what we currently have, making sure to get oriented to our space. Where is our 12 o'clock? Ideally, the right toe faces 1:30, 3 o'clock, 4:30. We know where our 6 is, our 7:30, our 9, and ideally left toe facing 10:30. Take at least 3 slow breaths in stillness. Longer in your own practice if you have the time to settle in. And then we begin. Moving from Wu Ji to Tai Chi. The right toe faces 12 o'clock as the body centers towards 10:30. The hands come a little closer together as they're closer to the lower dantian. The hands separate to about the width of the shoulders. The right palm faces completely flat and open to the sky until we turn and face 3 o'clock. To end leisurely Tai Coat with the left toe taking us to 12, the right toe adjusting its shoulder width. Be aware of the full breath. In, expanding the arms, and the breath out, allowing them to come together. Single whip left with the left foot floating out to the front. The waist turning dictates how far we open, and the waist turning brings us back to facing 12 as the right toe touches, the right fingers point to the ground. And then the palms face 12 as we step into white crane flashes wings. Once again, we return to awareness of the breath in, expanding us deeply, expanding the whole body. And the breath out, bringing us back to center. Brush knee left, whether we choose to touch the toe or float right into a left bow stance towards 9 o'clock. Playing the lute. The left hand faces 9 o'clock as it retracts to the chest. The right hand extends towards 9. It retracts to the chest. The left shoulder is relaxed as we prepare to pinch over a low left forearm. The left toes rise and casually come in. Our hands are not too close, expanding and to push the mountain. The follow step aligns the right heel with the left so we can pivot back into perfect shoulder width so that our full breath can expand throughout the entire body. And we come back to center. Brush knee right. Here we can choose to touch on the bubbling well or float right out into a right bow stance facing 3 o'clock. Leisurely Tai Coat. Here the right palm faces flat and wide open to the sky. The hand is open but not tense. An uprooting push to 3 o'clock. Here, the follow step aligns the left heel with the right toe so that we can pivot right back into center stance. Remembering that a full breath in is ideally 6 seconds. And a full relaxed breath out is ideally 6 seconds through the nose. Single whip back to the left. So the left foot finds the ground, and then we shift our weight as we push towards 12. Turning the waist opens the right hand and brings in the right toe. The right hand drops, holding our ground as we pivot and step into right fist, punching towards 9 o'clock. The fist opens. As we move into section 2 of the Soon 73, stepping towards 6 o'clock in our repulse monkey left. Taking the weight off the left foot, it turns in and takes our weight again, looking towards our 12 o'clock as we step into a right bow stance for repulse monkey right. We make sure to unweight the right toes as they point roughly to 10:30, stepping towards 9 o'clock with the left foot. In brush knee, followed by leisurely tie coat to the left. Here the left palm is open and flat to the sky as we extend it. The right fingers touch the entire left wrist as they come around to the thumb side, supporting the push. The follow step aligns the right heel so that as we turn back to 12 o'clock, the left toes come with us, finding perfect balance for the full breath in, to move the whole body and the breath out. Our last lesson was single whip to the right. So here we are, number 29, stepping forward and to the right, pushing to 12 o'clock, opening the waist, opening the left hand towards the left until we shift the weight to the left, drawing in the right side. And here, we'll flow right into wave hands like clouds. Step sideways with the right foot, right hand up. First wave to the right, bringing in the left foot. Left hand is up as we wave to the left. We step sideways again with the right foot, changing the hands, and shift our weight, waving hands like clouds towards our right, you could say. Left foot comes into shoulder width, and we change the hands and wave back towards our left. A third step out towards our right side, or 3 o'clock, and a third wave hands like clouds. It ends here. Or we'll just come to center and let the hands come down and relax. That is a lot of movement. For one movement, wave hands like clouds is quite a move. There's a lot of repetition in it. But we're going to break it down and make it as simple as we can for you. Let's start here. After our single whip, I want you to see what it looks like from the front. So this is just so you can see from the front one kind of fast repetition of what my hands are doing. I'm not doing it mirror image. I'm actually stepping towards my right. This movement might look familiar because a lot of us have seen something like it from Karate Kid. It is basically the same martial art movement. as the wax on, wax off move from Karate Kid. And maybe we'll talk about that as we learn the move. First, let's learn what our feet are doing and get a good foundation. We know from our previous lesson that after our single whip to the right, all of the weight is on the left foot and the right ball of the foot is touching in wave hands like clouds. We step sideways first towards our 3 o'clock with the right ball of the foot touching, but the toe points to 12. We put the heel down and we try to do that with no weight on the feet. And then we shift our weight to the right and we turn our waist so that now we're facing 130. We bring the left foot in touching on the ball of the foot to about shoulder width. We put the heel down with no weight. Ideally, both toes point to 12. There's no weight on the right foot until we're conscious of the weight shift to the left and turning our waist now to face 1030. The right foot takes a second right side step. The whole foot goes flat. And then we shift our weight onto it, mindful of turning the waist to 130. Once we're balanced, the left foot comes in just to shoulder width, touching ball of foot, heel goes down. We shift our weight and face 1030. We take a third right side step. Ball of foot touches, heel goes down. Still, both toes ideally point to 12 as we shift our weight to the right foot. Now, after 3, bringing in the left foot, the toes turn so that they face 130, setting us up for our next position. You could say that in wave hands like clouds to the right 3 times, that we are taking 3 steps to the right. There's one step that moves us towards the right. There's our second step that moves us towards the right side of our room. And there's our third step that once again moves us in the direction of the right side of our room, where the left toes turn towards 130. That kind of gives us an idea of where we're going in our wave hands like clouds. So, after our single whip to the right, all of the weight is on the left foot. When we take the right foot out, we want to touch the ball of the foot, the bubbling well, and then put the heel down with no weight on that foot. Once we can feel the foot flat, then we shift our weight and turn the whole body so that we feel very comfortable and upright on the right foot. Then we bring the left foot in just to shoulder width and put the heel down. Now in the beginning, and even now, sometimes I have to look, are my feet in the position I want? Yes, they are. And then I'm going to shift my weight and come over here and take my second right side step. The toe touches, the heel goes down. The foot is forward or towards 12 o'clock. As we shift our weight onto it, our body is turned towards 130. We bring the left foot in just to shoulder width, touching the ball of the foot, and then the heel goes down. We shift our weight, turning our body towards 1030, and take our third right side step, touching the ball of the foot. The heel goes down. We shift our weight and turn, keeping our head upright. Bringing the left foot in now, the toe turns. After 3 steps towards the right. You could also look at it as stepping from horse stance, which is slightly wider than shoulder width, that's one, into chi ma, or shoulder width. And then stepping a second time into horse stance. And then stepping into shoulder width. You could view it as stepping a third time into a horse stance. And then after shifting the weight, the left toes point us in the direction we'll be headed. Ideally, the toes remain on the same front line and the head stays upright. The other day when I was practicing with my group in the park, I realized for the first time ever that it's just like having on a pair of skis. I try not to ski. That's why the analogy didn't come to me. But it's just like having skis, long snow skis on your feet, where you have to step sideways and then put your heel down and get your ski dug in to shift your weight and get your balance and bring in your other ski and then get your balance and shift the weight. You take the second right side step with the right foot or the right ski and then make sure you're really comfortable there to bring in the left foot or the left ski. But if you've ever done that, you don't want your skis to get too close because they might cross. You want to have your toe forward on our third step, and then as we shift the weight, we're going to go in another direction. So we touch the left foot towards 130, pointing the way we're going. Hopefully that's clear. I'm going to do it sideways so that you can just get another angle. So by now you're probably understanding this wave hands like clouds. It's a longer lesson. So you can see from the side I'm stepping, my heel goes down, and I'm roughly facing this direction. And now you can see how my whole body is turned and angled. That's step one, step into shoulder width. And then step two, put the heel down softly, mindful. Or you could say aware of the weight shift to the right foot. The left foot comes to shoulder width, aware of the weight shift to the left foot. And the third, right side step. And the third, wave hands like clouds to the right. Because at the end, my body is now facing my right, or roughly my 1030. You've probably got that. Let's do the footwork together again, and I'm just going to walk through it with you after our single whip to the right. We want to have a good foundation and understanding of our feet before we bring in the hands. So you know how it works. It's 1, 2, 3. That's a lot. That is a lot in that. All that repetition of stepping, that's a lot. And in my live classes, I don't usually give any more than that in the first step of learning wave hands like clouds. I tell people, go home, practice that in with your form, right? Go from the beginning, what you know, all the way, and then after your single whip, just practice the stepping and feeling comfortable with all that. Because probably already at this point, you've noticed how it feels a little awkward turning one way, but maybe not the other. Because most of us have a little distortion in some of our fascia in the pelvic area. So even just working on that step can help to open it up. So if you want to stop this video right here, I'm going to stop it too. but I'm not going to make it another section to bring in the hands. So just start the other section if you want to watch the part of the hands. But honestly, especially if you're someone who's doing Tai Chi because you're having balance issues, I recommend you just work on the footwork of wave hands like clouds for a while. And with each step you take, really be aware of where the foot is in space, trying to keep that toes forward like on skis, and the perfect length and the perfect everything and the symmetry of it is not so easy. And when we're doing that, it's called gait training. Gait training, training ourselves how to walk sideways safely. Yeah. So thanks. And if you want to just come right back for the hands, we're doing that next.